You're listening to the SuitesFlow Podcast.
You know, we all sort of recognize the traditional playbook for selling high-end real estate, right? Secrecy, exclusivity, the idea that less is more.
Right, that mystery creates leverage, drives up value.
Exactly. But today, we're diving into something fascinating that came out of a discovery session with a big New York developer. It seems that playbook, it's not just old news. It might actually be killing their sales cycle now.
Yeah, it's a really interesting clash. It's not just about, marketing tactics changing. It's like a fundamental shift in philosophy.
How so?
Well, the old way was all about what we're calling conviction, manufacturing that feeling, that certainty through a kind of theatrical performance in the sales center.
Okay.
But today's buyers, they're demanding clarity, digital transparency, all the facts up front. And our mission today is really to unpack this collision between conviction and clarity. It's defining the future of luxury sales, I think.
And the whole thing kind of crystallized for us during that session, didn't it? With just one casual comment from the developer.
Oh, yeah. Almost an afterthought.
He just said, "We don't like to share too much online." And I mean, that used to be almost a boast, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It was the strategy, don't give away the good stuff online. The thinking was you hold back the details, you force the buyer into the sales center. That beautiful, expensive sales center had to be the only place the real conversation could start.
It was the gatekeeper.
Totally.
Yeah.
You build this incredible theater, the perfect stage set, but you only release the trailer online.
So, okay, let's unpack that. The old way relied on manufacturing that conviction, that feeling, through the physical experience.
Yeah.
How does the modern buyer how do they blow that up in 2024?
Well, the fundamental conflict, the real issue, is that buyers today just don't start their journey by talking to people anymore.
Right. Where do they start?
Start with search engines. They're researching late at night, after the kids are in bed.
Yeah.
They're building spreadsheets, comparing options meticulously.
Looking for data points.
Exactly. They're looking for inconsistencies, for hard facts. They're hunting for clarity.
And that hunt for clarity, it sounds pretty relentless. So if I'm that potential buyer, maybe looking at a unit, and I search online for, the specific floor plan for unit 12B or the view, or even just if it's still available.
Yeah.
And I hit a wall, I find nothing specific. What's my assumption? Is it, this must be super exclusive?
Not anymore. Not even close. You immediately assume risk. That's the gut reaction now.
The risk. Why risk?
Well, you start wondering, right? Is it next to a noisy elevator? Is the view actually terrible? Are they hiding some massive fees? That lack of precision online isn't read as luxury anymore. It's read as a potential problem, a red flag.
So the missing information becomes a fault.
Precisely. And the buyer often won't even bother scheduling a visit. They won't even walk through the door of that multi-million-dollar sales center, which, brings us to this really bizarre spending disconnect we see in the industry.
Let's get into the money side, because, that really highlights the priorities, doesn't it?
It really does.
You see developers pouring millions into crafting that perfect physical space, the custom marble, the flawless staging, the whole 9 yards. But the digital side, the actual pathway to get people to that expensive marble, it feels like it gets almost nothing in comparison.
It's staggering sometimes.
Yeah.
We've heard developers frankly admit they spend like 10 times more on the physical aesthetics, the look and feel, than on building a digital funnel that actually works, a funnel that provides real answers.
Wow, 10 times.
Yeah, it's like building this incredible 5-star restaurant, but then you deliberately hide the menu from everyone.
Good analogy.
You've got this perfect dining experience waiting inside, but you haven't given people the basic info they need. Like, can they even afford it? Do they even like French food? Yeah.
Right. With that online clarity, that digital menu.
That sales center stops being the start of the funnel. It just becomes this finish line way off in the distance that almost nobody can find the path to.
And you see this focus on performance over practical data everywhere, don't you? In all the physical stuff they spend on.
Oh, absolutely. That's where the budget goes. You see it in the super high-gloss brochures, the designer shopping bags with the logo perfectly centered, the specific type of marble at the reception desk, that intricate backlit diorama of the building, even like the imported bottle of San Pellegrino that probably cost more than the buyer's Uber ride over there.
Right. It's all tangible, polished, very on brand.
Totally on brand. But does any of it actually help that spreadsheet buyer? Does it answer their real questions? No. It does nothing for their need for actual hard precision.
Because that buyer, when they finally do get there, assuming they do, They're not really asking for a fancy drink or just a brand experience, are they?
No.
And they're probably not asking about the penthouse suite they saw in the ad either.
Not usually, no. They're demanding specifics.
Yeah.
Precision.
About
the unit they might actually be able to afford.
Yeah, exactly. They have these incredibly practical questions that the glossy, generic marketing just flies right over.
Totally. I mean, I remember when I was looking for a place recently, I was trying desperately to figure out if the unit I liked, the one in my price range, did it even have usable closet space? Or was the nearest subway station like a 5-minute walk, which is great? Or was it actually a 30-minute detour involving a bus?
And the general marketing photos, useless for that.
Completely useless. They show the beautiful lobby, maybe a staged living room of the model unit, but not the details of my potential unit.
And that's the real friction point, isn't it? When you're scrolling through those perfectly polished photos online, they're not really saying, hey, this could be your home.
No, what are they saying?
They're basically shouting, look how amazing we are. Look at our brand.
Right. It's all about them.
Meanwhile, the poor buyer is squinting at the screen, trying to guess, trying to extract some sense of reality from this curated illusion.
And the data is showing us very clearly that buyers are just. They're increasingly unwilling to take that leap of faith anymore. They won't move forward without that unit-specific precision. They need to see it, virtually at least.
Which explains why things like virtual tours have become so critical.
Absolutely essential. I mean, the stats are pretty stark. By 2025, which is basically now 3 out of 4 buyers are expected to consider virtual tours essential, not just nice to have.
Wow, 3 out of 4, essential.
Essential. It's the baseline requirement. The virtual tour is what justifies the time, the effort, maybe even the expense of going to see the place in person. It's the prerequisite.
So the digital stuff becomes the gatekeeper now, in a way.
In a big way. And think about this too. Sight unseen deals. Remember how during the pandemic, everyone thought, oh, this is just temporary people buying homes without visiting?
Yeah, a weird blip.
Well, it wasn't a blip. It's a mainstay now. The numbers are quite striking.
What are they looking like?
Between 2022 and 2024, get this, 47% of buyers made offers without ever setting foot in the property.
Almost half.
Almost half. That's nearly double the rate before the pandemic. So think about that. Nearly half your potential market is willing to commit often hundreds of thousands, maybe millions of dollars, based purely on what they can find or what they can't find online.
It's a huge shift.
It's the new normal. And these buyers, they demand things like live, up-to-the-minute inventory updates. They don't want to fall in love with Unit 12B online only to find out it's sold 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, that's incredibly frustrating. So if your whole sales model is built around this old idea of physical proximity, assuming buyers live nearby and will just sort of wander into your fancy sales center, you're actively shutting the door on that massive group, that nearly 50% who rely completely on digital clarity to even start the process.
That's the hidden, dangerous assumption baked into that don't share too much online philosophy.
Yeah.
You immediately cut yourself off from huge segments of the market.
Like who?
Well, the family relocating from clear across the country. The international investor who's ready to buy but needs to start their due diligence on their phone at 2 a.m. their time. Even, the busy local professional who just isn't going to waste an hour driving over to get basic specs on a unit that might not even be available or suitable.
It creates this sort of self-limiting cycle, doesn't it?
Totally. What happens is the initial buzz from local buyers inevitably slows down after launch. It always does. And then the developers find themselves, fishing in the same small pond, as they say.
Right, with diminishing returns.
Exactly. So eventually they have to try and cast a wider net. They need those out-of-towners, those remote buyers. But those buyers, they need a lot more than a glossy brochure and a picture of a lobby to get on a plane or wire a deposit. They need serious, detailed, reliable online information.
They need that clarity we keep talking about.
They need clarity. So every time a developer chooses to prioritize, say, the perfect physical model unit over implementing truly complete digital information, and by complete, I mean real-time availability, specific floor plan walkthroughs for every type, accurate view simulations. Every time they make that choice, they are systematically excluding the very buyers they will desperately need later on to actually sell out the project. They're spending millions on a finish line, but they've hidden the map.
Okay, but let's be fair. That physical sales center, the actual space, it does still matter, right? It's not completely irrelevant.
Oh, absolutely not. It's incredibly important. You can't replicate certain things online.
Like what?
Like the feeling of standing in the actual room, feeling the sunlight coming through the window at a certain time of day, hearing how quiet the insulation makes it, feeling the heft, the quality of the door handles.
That tactile stuff, the emotional connection.
That's the conviction part. It's where the emotional commitment often clicks into place. But if you've spent, like we said, 10 times more on polishing that beautiful showroom floor than on giving buyers the digital clarity they need to even decide to show up, well, then you just have a gorgeous, very expensive, empty room. A liability, really.
So they're not competing, the digital and the physical.
They shouldn't be. The key is understanding they have to reinforce each other. One provides the reason to engage, the other seals the deal.
You mentioned the Tesla analogy before, and I think that really works here.
Yeah, it's a great parallel, isn't it? Tesla made buying a $50,000 plus car online incredibly easy and transparent. All the specs, the options, the pricing, totally clear. That's the clarity.
Right. Total clarity online.
But did they stop there? No, they still built physical showrooms. Not really to sell the car in the traditional sense, maybe, but to let you touch it, sit in it, experience it, to provide that final piece.
The conviction.
The conviction, exactly. They used the physical space to finish the sale that started online.
Okay, so boiling it down, the new model looks like this. The sale doesn't kick off in the showroom anymore. That's not square one.
Nope. Square one is online. The digital access, the website, the virtual tours, that's where you provide the clarity, the facts, the reason to believe.
And then the physical experience, the sales center visit.
That's where you deliver the conviction, the feeling, the confirmation, the handshake. They work together. One doesn't cancel out the other. They amplify each other.
So the mantra for real estate should be...
show everything, everywhere. Be radically transparent online.
Because that transparency, that clarity is really the only way forward now. Developers have got to grasp that they actually gain more control, more trust by giving detail freely online.
Not by hoarding it.
Right. If you're not there online clearly, completely, with all the details, you're not just, hard to find.
You're basically invisible. You're not even part of the buyer's consideration set. They've already moved on to someone who is providing the answers.
So the whole game has shifted. Control comes from openness now.
It really has. And, this push towards digital clarity, especially needing things like live inventory and transparent sales data, it actually has ripple effects way beyond just making sales happen faster.
How do you mean? Beyond just the buyer experience?
Yeah. Think about what we discussed earlier, the developer spending 10 times more on the showroom than on getting people there. That lack of real-time, granular data online, it's not just frustrating for the buyer.
Who else does it affect?
It actually obscures the true health and velocity of the project from the people funding it, the investors, the lenders.
Interesting. So the secrecy hurts them on the back end too.
Precisely. Imagine if a developer shifted even a fraction of that budget, took it away from, say, fancier marble in the lobby, and put it towards technology that provides real-time, unit-specific sales data and availability, accessible not just to buyers, but internally and to their financial partners.
Okay. What would that do?
Well, suddenly, instead of relying on, optimistic quarterly marketing reports, the project's financiers and investors get immediate, verifiable insight into how things are really going. They can see the actual pace of sales, which units are moving, which aren't. It provides almost instant financial certainty.
Wow. Okay. So that transparency isn't just for buyers. It's crucial for investor confidence, too.
Absolutely. It transforms the marketing and sales tech spend from just a cost center into a core tool for financial management and risk reduction.
That really reframes the whole thing. It means that investing in digital clarity could actually de-risk the project financially.
It could fundamentally stabilize the project's financing timeline, potentially lead to better loan terms, and just generally lower the perceived risk for everyone holding the purse strings.
Which leads us to the final thought for you, the listener, to maybe chew on.
Right. So we've talked about how this old habit, this don't share too much online strategy, clearly hurts sales velocity by alienating modern buyers who demand clarity. But consider this. If embracing digital transparency, things like real-time inventory, unique-specific virtual tours, clear pricing not only speeds up sales, but also immediately boosts investor confidence and potentially accelerates or improves project financing.
Yeah.
Is it possible that the real hidden cost of that secrecy isn't just lost sales opportunities? Could it actually be costing the developer more in delayed capital, higher interest rates, and overall financial instability than they could ever possibly gain from trying to manufacture scarcity? Maybe the biggest price of secrecy isn't lost buyers, but lost financial certainty itself.
You're listening to the SuitesFlow Podcast.